The expression, keep the commandments of God, appears 3 times in the book of Revelation. It appears in Revelation 12:17, Revelation 14:12, and Revelation chapter 22 and verse 14. I'd like to begin by reading the reference from Revelation 14:12, and then we'll read 22:14, and then we'll take a closer look at Revelation 12:17. Revelation 14 verse 12 comes immediately after the third angel's message. The third angel's message says, beware of worshiping the beast, his image, or receiving his mark. And then in the very next verse, Revelation 14 verse 12, we find these words. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are those who keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. So you'll notice that those who keep the commandments of God are in contrast to those who worship the beast and his image and receive the mark. Because Revelation 14 verse 11 speaks about those who worship the beast, his image, and receive the mark. Revelation 14 verse 12 in contrast speaks about those who keep the commandments of God and have the patience of the saints. The second reference that I would like to read is Revelation 22 and verse 14. There is a problem of translation here. Some versions read, blessed are those who wash their robes. However, I believe, and I can't get into all of the reasons right now, I believe that the best translation is the one that I'm going to read now. Revelation 22 and verse 14. Blessed are those who do his commandments. Other versions say, wash their robes. But I believe this is the correct translation. Blessed are those who do his commandments. It's the same expression, keep the commandments. I don't know why the New King James uses do instead of keep, but it's the same identical expression. That they may have the right to the tree of life and may enter through the gates into the city. You'll notice here that we're not told that there's a group of people who believe in the commandments. It doesn't say that there's a group of people who have the commandments, or who teach the commandments, or who preach the commandments. We're told explicitly in Revelation 14:12 and Revelation 22:14 that there will be a group of people who keep the commandments of God. So I guess that if anybody teaches you that no one can keep the commandments, they're lying. And not only are they lying, but they're making God a liar. Because God says that there will be a people who keep the commandments of God. Those are God's words. And if any minister gets up, or any priest gets up and says, no, the commandments, Jesus kept them. They were for the Jews. They were nailed to the cross. Nobody can keep them. Beware. Because God says that he will have a people who keep the commandments of God. Now, the third reference where this expression, keep the commandments of God, is found is Revelation 12 and verse 17. I want us to take a closer look at this specific reference. It says there in Revelation 12:17, and the dragon was enraged with the woman. Who's the dragon? Revelation 12 verse 9, earlier in the chapter, says that the dragon represents Satan. And so Satan was enraged with the woman. What does the woman represent? The church, that's right. And he went to make war with the rest of her offspring. I like better the way the King James says, went to make war with the remnant of her seed. Now, what characteristics do they have? Who keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ.